Welcome back to Beyond This. I'm Matilda, and here we talk about spirituality, self discovery, and finding meaning in a changing world. Each week, we'll explore ideas, open hearts, challenge beliefs, and guide you towards living with intention. Thank you for joining me. As I said, my name is Matilda, and I am a professional psychic medium and spiritual coach. Been working in this space for well over 20 years, and I am so lucky to be able to do what I do. It is such a privilege to be able to help people along their journey. Today, we are diving into a manifestation, but not in a way you might expect. Manifestation has become such a buzzword in the spiritual space. You see it all over social media. People talking about scripting, vision boards, 369 methods, crystals, rituals, you name it. And while all of those things are useful tools, there are so many myths out there that can actually keep you stuck or even make you feel like you're failing. So today, I want to strip it all back. Let's talk about what manifestation really means, what it isn't, and how to move past the myths that might be holding you back. First of all, how's your week been? The energy has been really strange. For the first time in a long time, I had to cancel readings due to a migraine. It felt so dense. The energy felt incredibly heavy and fearful. But then it sort of cleared really quickly. What I want to say, and I've spoken about this over on my Patreon, is October is a shite show. You will feel as if you have whiplash. It's going to feel as if the news cycle is going to feel as if it's heavy. This is not just for any particular country. This is global. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like there's a lot of egoic leaders wanting to push towards out and out conflict. Really working on your own sense of self and bringing yourself back to center. If you find yourself getting out of control or your fear starting to bubble up, which is what this government wants, which is what Trump's minions want. They want you to fearful, because being fearful will make you more compliant to a certain degree. It will make you less likely to stand up. That's why they bombard with so many executive orders and demands and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to label this and I'm going to label that. All of that is smoke and mirrors. And a lot of it, again, we're on the verge of a government shutdown, which I really do feel is very likely to happen. I'm really hoping there's a last minute save. But I've always seen a shutdown and it gets kicked down the line. And he wants a government shutdown. He really does. He is protecting so many people through keeping the Epstein files hidden. The Epstein files go globally. We're talking global leaders. We're talking heads of military, or we're talking people that will have a significant buy-in to his presidency because of his promise to not let the files leak. Well, he's no longer going to have that hold over people. So expect those to come out during the month of October. There to be a lot of, oh, they're lying, they're fake, they're AI, they're this, they're that, they're the other. The gaslighting from this government is huge. But what I am proud of, what I am seeing, especially in my Patreons, is the awakening to the bullshit, to the fact that you've been told what you want to be, what they want you to be told. I'm seeing people stand up, and there's going to be a lot more of that in October. Keep yourself safe, keep yourself grounded. If you find yourself teetering on that fearful level, I want you to stand with both your feet on the ground. Put your hands on your thighs and just breathe in through your nose and blow the bullshit out with your mouth. Do that 3 or 4 times. Bring yourself back to center, and you've got this. Doesn't have to be a massive long ritual. This can be something you can do any time of any day. You've got this. You do. You all have the tools. In my Patreon, there are several meditations. I will be adding to that over the next week. There's an exciting 21-day challenge, which I'll talk about a little bit later, for the manifesting tier. So I've been working on getting all that ready to go. And once that's done, hopefully by the end of this week, I'll be able to load up some more meditations and some grounding exercises for you to choose and pick and choose as you wish. But let's talk about manifesting. And those myths that we have that surround manifesting. One of the biggest myths I hear is that manifesting is just wishing, like sitting on the couch and saying, I want abundance, while waiting for the universe to deliver. The truth is that manifesting isn't passive, it's alignment. It's when your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions line up with what it is you want to call in. So if you're visualizing abundance, but you're constantly speaking lack or making choices from fear, you're actually manifesting more of the same. So if I can't have it because I've always never had money, then you are just going to manifest the never having money part. Manifestation is a co-creation. Spirit meets you where you are, but you have to show up. It's like being in that in-between stage of, I want a partner, oh, all men stink, or all women stink, or I don't want a partner, I don't want to share my space, oh, I want a partner, but I'm not going to go on dating apps. The universe goes, what the fuck do they want? And that's where the confusion starts. We must align our actions. The other myth is if it doesn't happen quickly, it's not working. If it doesn't happen straight away, it means it's not working for you right now. This one really disheartens people. The reality is, timing is a huge part of manifesting. Sometimes delays are actually protection. Spirit might be moving people, opportunities, and circumstances around so that when your manifestation arrives, it's sustainable. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't plant a rose and then dig it up the next day, asking, why isn't it blooming? You trust the process. The gap between intention and outcome isn't failure, it's gestation. And I'm going to add to this by saying that if you are manifesting something and you sit there and say, it hasn't happened on the Tuesday in May that I wanted it to happen, then that is also putting a block there. We let it out to the universe, and the universe will deliver in the timing that makes it sustainable for you. The other myth is manifestation is only about material things. I want to clear up that manifestation is only about getting material things, the car, the house, the money. Those things are fine. But we can manifest so much more than material gain. You can manifest peace. You can manifest healing. You can manifest opportunities, relationships, or the strength to leave what no longer serves you. In fact, The most powerful manifestations are often internal shifts, and then they ripple out into your external reality. We are not always in an emotional place for our manifestations to happen at the timing that we want. So, manifesting to be in that emotional space and aligning your actions with that is one of the most powerful things that you can do for your future and for your greatest good. There's this other myth that we have to be positive all the time to have something good happen for us. This one really gets under my skin because toxic positivity is not what real life is about. The human existence has many peaks and troughs. The idea that you have to be positive 24/7 or you'll ruin your manifestation, that's simply not true. You are a human. You're allowed to have down days. You're allowed to cry, to process, to feel frustration. The key is not to suppress those emotions. Let them move through you, then choose to realign. Much like being on a diet. How many people have been on a diet and then by Wednesday it's, oh, I just need some chocolate. And you think that, oh, I've ruined it on Wednesday, so I might as well just stop. That we just start the next day fresh. Authenticity is more magnetic than fake positivity. Spirit doesn't expect perfection, just presence. I also want to say that if something doesn't manifest, you did nothing wrong. One of the most painful myths that if your manifestation hasn't arrived, it's because you failed or did something wrong. Sometimes the truth is it's simply not for you. Some desires come from ego or old programming or from comparison. Spirit will always redirect you to what's in your highest alignment. When we are attached to how a manifestation is going to play out, specifically if we're attached to a person, a specific person that isn't good for you, and you manifest and you manifest and you manifest them to come back to you, then your alignment is not sitting right, because your alignment should be coming out of a place of power. And manifesting a relationship is about manifesting a relationship that's for your greatest good, not a relationship because you're sitting in ego and someone may have been less present and they are not good for you. This is why detachment is very important. What you can say, this or something better, you open the door to miracles that might be far greater than what you originally asked for. So let's release the myths. Manifestation isn't about perfection or controlling every thought or forcing timelines. It's about alignment, trust, and co creation with the universe. We're going to do a little shout out to our newest Patreon members, and then I'm going to give you some practices, some tasks that you can take away, some homework. But if you are interested in learning to manifest, I do have a 21-day challenge that is over on my Patreon for those in the Magnificent Manifestors tier. So it's time for our weekly Patreon shout-outs to all new paid supporters. If you don't know, Patreon supporters pay for this podcast. They sponsor the podcast so that you do not have to listen to ads that you don't want to listen to. You get it completely ad-free. If you are a member of the Patreon, if you choose to join the Patreon, there are so many benefits. We have chats on a regular basis where I'll jump onto the chats. I think my next live chat on Patreon is on the 3rd of October at 10 a.m. Australian time. I have a coffee morning on the 6th of October at 10 a.m. Melbourne time. That's your opportunity to ask me any questions regarding either spirituality or current affairs. Massive discounts on readings, anywhere from $50 to $100 discount on a reading. If you're really quick, like right now, quick, you can actually get 50% off if you are a $15 and up member off the 2026 predictive event with Miss Laurie Rivers. I'll put a link to that in the bio. I'm also going to try and work out how to add one of our prediction videos that we've already done here, but the discount expires on the 1st of October. That is 50% off. That event is on the 11th of October, Australian, American time, the 12th Australian time. That's a huge event. 2026. What more could you ask for? So lots going on. I've got my October calendar in front of me, my October Patreon calendar. The 1st of October, also my December readings go up. All Patreons get first dibs on those. We have so much going on, but it's also a massive support network, a community that we have built. The chats that go on are endless and funny. We try to take the seriousness, unless it's an organised event such as the coffee morning or your podcast, your Patreon podcast, where you get to ask the questions you want. The chats are always lighthearted. We're there to help people raise their energy. We're there to support people. I've talked enough about it. I'm going to give you a massive shout out to all the new Patreon supporters. Time Keeps on Ticking has joined for 12 months. Jen Simpkin has joined. JPH has joined. Carmela has joined for 12 months. Sarah has joined. Paula Adams. Shannon West has joined for 12 months. Gianna, sorry if I've mispronounced that, has joined for 12 months. Jazzy, James, Felicia, Lillian, Britt, Terry, the Basset Hound lady, who has done me a solid. She's been loading up pictures of her Basset Hounds. For those of you that don't know, I've had 3 Basset Hounds in my life. Very, very close to choosing to get another one, but I can't decide on what I want at the moment. Ilix has joined. Tracy Joy has joined for 12 months. Catherine Begley has joined. Erin Olson has joined. Effie has joined for 12 months. Jen Mack. Crystal. Jen Eisenhard. Lindsay has joined for 12 months. Laurie. Heather. Gina. Rachel. Jay. Olivia. Carrie has joined for 12 months. Terry Anderson Schlader has joined for 12 months. Alethea and Nicole T has joined as well. Thank you, guys. Patreon is where it's at. And as I said, 21-day challenge starting on the 1st of October. You will get daily prompts for your manifesting journal and your affirmations, as well as much, much more. Thank you, guys. Your support makes this possible. Your support makes the extra work that I do and put into Patreon and this podcast possible. I cannot thank you enough for your support. Before I go any further, I want to, first of all, thank you for the massive support that many of you have shown around the podcast and the feedback where you are telling me how much it's helped you just by listening to some of the teachings, some of the words, some of the spirituality, whatever you get out of this podcast. Thank you for your feedback. Can I ask that you follow, like, share the podcast if you feel so inclined? If you follow the podcast, you're never going to miss an episode. You're always going to get a ding, ding, ding when I release a new episode. But I have been blown away. I got a little badge this week to say that I have had 250,000 downloads. That's phenomenal. And that I am sitting in the top 0.5% of podcasts within spirituality and religion worldwide. That just blows my tiny little mind when I sit here in my office in central Victoria in Australia. We reach hundreds and hundreds of countries around the globe. So please share, like, follow, leave a review. A nice one would be nice. Thank you kindly. The reviews that pop up often on my feed is, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She got the election wrong. Don't trust her. She's full of bullshit. She doesn't know how American politics runs. Of course I fucking don't. I make predictions without any context. That means that when they happen, they make sense to you rather than me making predictions that are going to soothe you. I am not a soothsayer. I dislike anyone that goes, there, it's all going to be okay, without giving you the tools to be able to manage things. But my predictions are always made without context. If you go onto Patreon, I have my 2025 predictions. So many of them have happened, and many of them were made without, well, actually, all of them were made without context, without understanding things. I prefer not to understand something. I prefer not to read the news. I prefer everything to come from my channeling from spirit rather than my own take on things. And if you are making predictions with your ego attached, and ego is not a bad thing, but with that attached to the outcome of it, then you cannot be speaking your truth. Yeah, we all know that Kamala didn't win the election, or okay, we all know that Kamala is not president. That's a better way to put it. But fuck's sake, let it go. Let it go. All right, I'm going to give you some tools, a few little bits of homework that's going to help your manifesting. Now, these are only some tips. If you want more in-depth information, weekly videos on manifesting, or weekly journal prompts, etc., go along to Patreon. There's a lot more in-depth in this. So we're going to release the myths of manifestation. Manifestation isn't about being perfect or controlling every thought or forcing timelines. That's something that I really want people to hold on to. But a few little practices that can help you along your manifesting journey. Write down 3 stories or beliefs you've been holding onto around manifestation. Don't do it with now what I've told you. Do it what you've been taught. Then choose one new narrative that feels more aligned and repeat that every single day. Consistency is really key here. Look for even the smallest evidence in your life that supports that new story. Because if we keep telling ourselves the old story of I can't, I won't, I shan't, then that's what the universe is going to bring you. And remember this affirmation: I am aligned, I am open and trusting in the unfolding of my path. You are not failing at manifestation. You're learning to co-create, to align, and to trust. And that in itself is powerful. Now I'm going to jump in and give you a handful of predictions that I have seen playing out in the coming months. But I'm also going to talk about some of those predictions that I have seen happen a while ago about a world-changing gene therapy or DNA therapy that I saw coming in. And I felt that it was connected with child health. What it has turned out to be is a therapy connected with the assistance around Huntington's disease, which is a phenomenal step forward within medical practices. I also talked about things connected to Trump and the United Nations. And I feel like that set his speech at the United Nations set a bit of a ball rolling within companies, countries around the globe connected to the United Nations. Watch this space, because I do feel that although it may not be public yet, there is going to be something that is connected to that speech. It's not about saving the US. I just want to put your mind aside when it comes to that. I want to say a global uprising of United Nations countries, and asking for questions, asking for answers connected to that. I got a lot of predictions recently. If you're in my Patreon, I have talked about these in depth, but the stuff that I've talked about on social media, I put a post up with a handful of predictions. One of them being women rising up and standing together, making people accountable. This is in part connected to the Epstein list. I feel like there is going to be more gatherings of women holding different people accountable. Now, people keep asking, is the Epstein list coming out? Is the Epstein list coming out? Yes, 100% the Epstein list is coming out. We all know, why are people asking if Trump is on the Epstein list? How many times was he photographed with him? How many times do we have to prove that link? Yes, he was very much involved. Yes, he is very much a perpetrator. You don't need to keep asking, but is the list coming out? Yes. Is it going to blow a whole lot of global information out there? Yes. Also, is it going to make Trump more vulnerable? Yes. Do you know, and I can talk about this with knowledge, that if you take a position within government where you are in a position where you will have, or even military, you will have access to sensitive information, that there are, in Australia, there are different levels of security clearance. Now, I have worked in government organisations and I have base level security clearance, or had, probably expired by now. But I have someone that's very close to me that has passed the highest level of security clearance that is possible within Australia. And that was part of the job that they had to do. That takes interviews that can be 10 hours long. That is talking about right back to the moment that you were born, every house you've lived in, every connection that you've had. And because they were close to me, I was put down as one of their reference points. And they asked me, is there any way that this person could be manipulated, bribed, or have something held over them by another organization or country? And I could clearly and very reasonably answer, there is no way that anybody would have anything, because he is above board. How the fuck can someone be the president of a country without passing one of those security clearances? I don't get it. I really don't. But not my circus, not my monkeys, but it blows my mind that somebody can rise to that position of power, have access to the sort of sensitive information, be open to bribery and manipulation, which I've always said that Trump is. I made a video that he is one of the most vulnerable president ever. as far as manipulation and bribery goes because of his past. Just before they put their hat in the ring to run for that sort of job, they should have been vetted to the level of the top secret security clearance. And now this podcast is probably going to be flagged by all sorts of organisations. Okay, the other thing that I talked about is, so I'm sorry, before I go on to the next one, I want to talk about this women rising and standing together. I see more community organisations. I see more parents getting together regarding the shootings, the fear of school shootings, etc., etc. I see a lot of connection with feminine, female energies standing up to ask for answers, demand answers, and expect a sense of decency on many levels, not just in the United States, but I do see this globally as well. Explosions and an escalation in Eastern and Central Europe. I'm afraid that Europe is going to, I feel, kick off this month in particular. Outside of the Ukraine-Russian war, I have a few predictions within this that I feel are connected. Things like the flotilla is at risk. Having Spain and Italy flag them, someone is going to hurt one of those ships or the flotilla, which is going to also then incite either Spain or Italy to retaliate. So it's not just connected to Russia, Ukraine. I feel like it goes outside of that. UK protests turn violent. My take on that and what I've been shown is an incident happening within the United Kingdom that then there's like this game of telephone where falsehoods are spread about who and what caused that incident, and then people are retaliating on a violent side. It feels really uncomfortable. I do want to go to the north more than the south, although I do think it will spread from city to city to city. I want to flag Bristol, which I know is in the south, but I feel like Bristol's going to see some riots coming up. I lived in Bristol when the St. Paul's riots were happening in the 80s, and I feel very, very similar to that. Shock retirement of a footballer. What I have been shown is a footballer is badly injured. It's the last couple of years of their career anyway, and they realise that they have to retire because of their injury. By the time they rehab, they'll be out of it. And it feels like it's a name. Food shortages globally. Now, this isn't everyone's going to be without food. This is certain foods are going to be short of supply. It could be something like flour, milk, something that's a staple that for transportation or contamination reasons, we are seeing a shortage of it. An uprising of government employees and military personnel. This is not just in the United States, I am going to be honest. I feel like there is a real, come on, making the government accountable for their actions, poor treatment, not getting what they need, almost like a strike, but definitely an uprising. We may see government employees protest. Now, that could be linked to the shutdown in the United States, but I feel like it is a global thing. It's not just in the United States. And charges filed against a news station. Very much surrounding misinformation, someone being forced to comply with something and or being sacked because they're not complying with something, as well as misinformation from the greater public. I would personally like to see a mass or a, what are they called, a class action against someone like Fox or Sky News for being selective about what they share. At the beginning of this year, it could even be the end of last year, when I spoke to my Patreons, I said, if you can get a VPN, which is a virtual network that allows you to access content from other countries, if you are in the United States, you will find that you will get more reality, more news, because we're seeing a lot more outside of your country than you are seeing. Hold steady. This too will pass. 2025 is a life-altering, life-changing year. But I've said it before and I will say it again. We will be okay. You will be okay. You will get through this. It's just having the tools to manage what is happening and the roller coaster. And that's not just you, it's helping your children, the young people, manage. So I will do everything I can to bring you more content on grounding and centering yourself. And I hope that I can play a small part in getting you through this bumpy journey in one piece. That's about it from me this week. Remember, I have the 21-day manifesting challenge over on Patreon. On October the 11th, Laurie Rivers and I are doing our charts and channeling deep dive into 2026. The discounts are available for a very short period of time. I think 1st of October at the latest, and then it will be full price. Those discounts are available for the $15 and up Patreons in both Laurie's Patreon and my own. But there is no extension for that. If you are unable to attend, remember a recording will be sent out to you. They're a great event to see how we work together and to get some insight into 2026. I'm also going to link in the show notes the 3 videos that have been put together of Laurie and I working together with all the predictions that we were shown way back when, over the last 2 years, in the different events that we have done together. I'm always interested in where you're listening to me. Where are you today? What are you doing? Are you out for a walk? Are you on your hot girl walk? Are you walking the dog? Are you on your way to work? Are you working and tuning out the noise around you? Let me know in the comments. And I hope to join you on next week's walk, whatever part of the world you are in. Thank you for tuning into Beyond This. If this episode resonates, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.